In this session, we are going to see about what is called CSV file and how do we perform read and write operation into the CSV file. So we all know that CSV file is a comma separated value file. So this is a plain text file which consists of the data in the form of tabular format. So here what type of text is allowed means only the printable ASCII or the Unicode characters. Each and every column, that is a value, will be separated by comma operator. So this is a general structure of a CSV file. So always the first row is the header and the remaining rows are containing the actual text data. So this is a structure of CSV file. It is very much similar to the a tabular form. Always in the table consists of first row as header and the remaining things are called as the actual data. So the first line will always the name of the data column and the subsequent lines it always consists of actual data. So other than comma, other delimiters can also be used like tab, colon and then semicolon. So these are the things in the CSV file. Next we are going to see about parsing CSV file. That is how to perform a read operation and the write operation into the CSV file. So let's see an example. So always whenever we are reading something in the file, then we have to use the open function. Okay. So first you have to import the CSV library. Then with open, this is a keyword. And then what is the file that you want to open and in which name you want to open. So I will open this text file as a CSV file. Then I read the entire content into the object called CSV underscore reader. So I will read the entire CSV file content. Then I will store it under this variable. So I want to just count how many lines in that CSV file and what are the data that exist in that CSV file. So these are the two things I want to perform it. So first to count the lines, I have a variable called line underscore count which is initialized with the value 0. So how do we count the lines normally? I will take the first row and the count value is 1. Next I will take the next row, the count will be incremented to 2. So it goes on like that. So I have to take each and every row. At the same time I have to increment the line count. So where exactly my data is stored? So here I have read the entire content and I stored it in the variable called CSV underscore reader. So I will use one for loop. Okay. So I will read each and every row in this variable. So I'll read the first row. Always the first row in the CSV file is nothing but your header file. Name of the data column, right? So what is the first condition I have given is if the line count is 0. Okay. So which means the column names have to be displayed. Okay. So here F means this string is a formatted string. This string consists of some formats. So that has to be applied to this string, which means that. So F represents formatted string. This is optional. If you want to use it, you can use it. Otherwise, skip it. So within the double quotes, what are the things they have given? Column names are. Then here is the format comes. What is the format? So the curly braces, whatever they have given, that is taken as a format. So double quotation, they have used the comma operator. Okay. So which means the string in that the elements have to be separated by comma. That is the meaning of this one. Next, dot, join or row. So which means here what is inside the row? So what is there in the text file? What is the first one is name. Next one is department and birthday and month. So this is the first row which represents the row variable. So which represents the variable called row. This row represents name, department, birthday, month. Okay. How this can be displayed means use the separator comma. Okay. Then join the row. Join the row means what is it? The entire thing. So how it will be displayed? Column names are with the help of comma operator. You separate each and every element in that row. Okay. So that is the meaning of this one. So what will be printed as output? Column names are name, comma, department, comma, birthday, and then comma, month. So this is the row of 0, which means, sorry, this is the first row. Okay. So first row are nothing but column names. So that will be displayed. So then after that, the line count is incremented as 1. Then it doesn't execute the else part. Again, it go to the next loop in the for. I mean next iteration in the for loop. So what does this happen? Next, it reads the next row. So what is the next row here in the file? The next row in the file is John Smith accounting November. So that is read into this variable row. So that is stored in the variable row. So now you check if the line count is 0. No, the line count is 1. So now this condition is not satisfied. It choose the else part. So what is given here? Print. So this is a formatted type of string. Then what happened? Row. The row represents the entire string of elements in the first row. So in this row, what is the 0th field? Okay. So what is the row now? What is the current row now? The current row consists of John Smith accounting November. Okay. So here 0th index consists of this entire row. 0th element is John Smith. 1th element is accounting. The second element is November. So in this way, we can access each and every element in that particular row. So automatically, row of 0 is nothing but, what is it? Row of 0 is John Smith. Row of 1, accounting. Row of 2, November. Okay. So how it displayed? Row of 0 is John Smith, works in the accounting department and was born in November. Okay. So after displaying this statement, the line count is incremented. So already it is 1. Next, it is incremented to 2. So look at the output. John Smith works in the department and was born in November. This is the second line that is displayed as output. Okay. So next, the line count is incremented as 2. Then the next iteration of the for loop starts. It reads the next row. What is the next row in the file? Erica Meyer's ID March. So this is the row now. This is the current row that is taken by a for loop. Okay. So now the row consists Erica Meyer's ID March. Now the line count is not 0, it is 2. So it takes the else part. So row of 0 is what? Row of 0 is Erica Meyer's. Row of 1 is IT. Row of 2 is March. So what will be printed as output? Erica Meyer's works in the IT department and was born in March. Okay. The line count is incremented as 3. Already it is 2. Now it becomes 3. So what is the printed as output? Erica Meyers works in the IT department and was born in March. Okay. So now the lines count is 3. Then the for loop next iteration comes. So it tries to read the next row. Is there any row available? No. So the file is now reaches the end of the, it reaches the end of the file. So there is no other row remaining. So automatically this for loop will exit. So what is the, outside the for loop is print processed line count lines. So what is this line count now? 3. So what will be printed? Processed 3 lines. So look at the output. Processed 3 lines. So in this way we can read the CSV file and we can display the content in the CSV file, and also we can count how many number of lines in the CSV file. So I have opened the CSV file, then I have read the entire content into some variable. Then I try to access each and every row in that CSV content. So always the first row will be the column names. Okay. So line count is 0 means the column names have to be displayed. So after that, I will process, that is I will display each and every row content. At the same time, I will increment the lines count. So finally, when this for loop exits, automatically the line count is nothing but it represents how many lines in your CSV program. So this is a simple program. It reads the content of the CSV file and it shows what are the content in the CSV file, and in addition with that, how many lines in the CSV file. Okay, hope you understood this. So next we'll move on to how do you read CSV files into a dictionary? So in this program, I just read the CSV file and display it in the output. So next, I am showing that how do you read CSV file into a dictionary. Okay, you take the same file. So this is the file I am going to read it. So let's see the code. So first I have to import CSV. Next, I have to open that file. So here I am giving the mode as read. Okay, so I have opened the file under the name CSV underscore file. Then I have to read the file, right? So here I am reading into the dictionary. I am reading the content into the dictionary. So whatever the content that is inside this file, that is read it in the form of dictionary. So what is the representation of dictionary? It is a key value pairs. Key is a colon, then the corresponding value. So separated by comma, it can consist of key value pairs. So here what is represented as key? Keys are nothing but column names and the values are nothing but the remaining rows, the actual text. So in this way, it reads the entire content into the dictionary. So the same way, lines count is initialized with 0. Then I'll take each and every row in the file. So always the first row in the CSV file is column names. So I will display the column names. Okay. So next, again, line count is incremented as 1. Then it takes the next row, right? What is the next row? John Smith, accounting, November, right? So it takes the next row. So it choose the else part because line count is now 1. So it choose the else part. Here, how the data is displayed. Look at this. In the previous example, I have used row of 0. That is, I have mentioned the position, right? So here I have read it in the form of dictionary. So how do you access the value in the dictionary? By using the key. So here keys are nothing but column names. So column names, so here keys are nothing but name, department, birthday and month. So here name colon John Smith. That is first key value pair. And the next key value is department colon accounting. And the next one is birthday month colon November. So in this way, it is read it into the dictionary. So name colon John Smith, department colon accounting and birthday month colon November. That is the current row. Okay. So that is the current row. It choose the else part. So what is this displayed? Row of name, which is John Smith, works in the row of department accounting and was born in row of birthday month. What is it? November. Okay. So that is displayed as output. First display the column names. Next, it will display the output with the help of dictionary. Okay. So next line count is incremented as 1, which means it is getting 2. It will read the next row. What is the next row? Name colon Erica Myers, department colon IT and birthday month colon March. So that is the next dictionary value. So that is represented by row. Now we choose the else part. Then here Erica Myers works in the IT department and was born in March. So now the line count becomes 3. So there are no rows remaining. So it will exit. So exit the for loop. Then what is the final print statement? Processed 3 lines. So this also gives the same output. First I have printed the column names. Then I have printed the text data as it is and I have printed the how many lines in the CSV file. So what is the difference between the previous example and this one is, so the previous example we just read the entire content and then we will take each and every row and we are displaying the content as it is. But here how the reading is performed means we are reading the entire row into the dictionary. Okay, each and every row is stored in the form of, read in the form of dictionary and it is stored in some other variable. So using this variable, we access each and each and every row in the form of key value pairs. Okay, so how do we access that actual data means by using the dictionary representation, that is key. By using the key, we can access the particular value in a row. So that is the difference between the previous one and the current one. So that's all about a reading operation in the CSV file with the normal CSV library and the dictionary reader CSV library. So the next one is, how do we write CSV files with the CSV library? So the same thing, you have to import CSV, then open the CSV file in write mode. Okay, so this is the file name. I have opened the file under the name employee underscore file. Okay, then I have to, what I have to write. So in this file I am going to write it employee underscore file. In this file I am going to write the content. So then here, what is the separator I have to use while writing my content? So while writing my content, I want to use comma as a separator. Then after that, see if any string is, I have given any string as the value, then what type of quotes have to be used? Either a single quote or a double quote. So that is represented by this one, quoting and then quote cap. So here I am using just double quotes. So if any string value I have given means that string has to be enclosed within double quotes. That is the meaning of this one. Okay. So using CSV.writer, I have just created an object, writer object. Okay. Inside this writer object, I have given the file name and what is the separator I want to use it and how the string has to be represented. So that is the thing I have used. So next I am going to write it. I have opened my file in a write mode, right? And I have created the write object. So that is nothing but employee underscore writer. Now my object is ready. With this object, employee underscore writer, I can call the function write row. Okay. With the help of this write row function, I can write my content into this file. I mean into the file that is stored here. So what is written as the first row? John Smith, accounting, November. This row is returned into the file called employee underscore file. Next, what I want to write it? Employee underscore writer. So this is the writer object. Okay. So while writing any content into the CSV file, first create a writer object with the help of calling the function writer. So using this object, I will write my content into the CSV file. So the first row written is John Smith, accounting, November, and the next row written is Erica Meyers, IT, March. So these are the two rows I have written into my file that is called, what is that? Employee underscore file. Okay. So in this way, I can write my content into the file. So next one is, how do we write the content from a dictionary? So this I have given directly. I have given the list of strings as a row and directly I have written the row into my file. But this one is, how do we write the content as a dictionary into my file? Okay. So again, I have opened the file in the write mode. So while writing as a dictionary, I mean while writing the content from the dictionary into CSV file. So always the dictionary will have a key value pairs, right? So you first write the field names, then the corresponding field names, these values have to be written, right? So first you have to know the field names. What is the field name? Employee name, department, birth month. So this list is created under the variable field names. So then I have used CSV.dictionary writer because I am writing a content from a dictionary into the CSV file. So dict writer is used. So what is the file I am going to write now and what are the field names that has to be written. So when I am opening this file in the write mode, I have given the field names. So this field name is, so these are the field names that has to be kept as the first row. So I know the field names, right? So how do we write the field names? By using write header. So this write header will write this field name as the first row in the CSV file. What is it? employee underscore file 2. That is under the name CSV underscore file. Okay. So into this file, first this headers are inserted. Next, what? So from the dictionary, I am going to write it. So dictionary is always represented in the form of key value pairs, right? So if I am writing this row, what will happen? It goes to the file under the employee name. John Smith is written as the first content in the second row. Next, accounting. Accounting is written under the department. And then November. November is written under the birth month. So in this way, the dictionary is, from the dictionary, the content is written into the CSV file. So if you want to add one more row, the same dictionary. Under the employee name column, it will store Erica Meyers. Under the department column, it stores IT. And under the birth month, it stores the value March. So let's see the output. The first row is, the headers. That is field names. Employee name, department, and then birth month. What is the field names I have given here? Employee name, department, and birth month. That is the field name, followed by the corresponding values under that field. So under employee name, John Smith, Erica Meyers. Under department, accounting, ID. Under birth month, November and March. Okay. So this is an example for reading a CSV, for reading data from the dictionary into the CSV file. Writing the data from the dictionary into the CSV file. So I will open the file in the write mode. Okay. So I read the dictionary and I write it into the CSV file. Okay. So this is a way of writing the content into the CSV file from the dictionary. Okay. So that's all about reading and writing operation with CSV and what is that? Dictionary also. So next we are going to see about parsing the CSV files with the pandas, with the help of pandas library. So far we have seen with the help of CSV library. Okay. So with the CSV library, how to perform read and write either with dictionary or without dictionary, we have seen it. So next we are going to perform a read and write operation into the CSV file with the help of pandas library, not a CSV library. So let's see it. So this pandas library is nothing but the open source Python library, which consists of many analysis tools and techniques. Okay, well, this can contain a large amount of text data. So if you want to store a lots and lots of data, when you are considering the real time, there are much large amount of data that has to be maintained in your file. If that is the case, you better use the pandas to create the to perform the read and write operation in the large data. Okay. So whenever you are processing with the large data, it is better to use the pandas library. So your program efficiency will be improved. So first we'll see how do we read a CSV file with the help of pandas library. So assume that this is a CSV file which consists of the data in this format. So first one is the header part, name, hire, date, salary, and sick days remaining. Then these are the actual data. Okay, so this is the CSV file I have taken. So next we will see how do we read the CSV into the pandas data frame. Okay, so here you have to import pandas. There in the previous example you have used import CSV. So instead of that, here you have to use pandas. So import pandas. Next, using this pandas, what is the function that you want to use it to read underscore CSV, and inside that what is the file name. Okay, so this file is read and it is stored under the object called df. This is nothing but a data frame object. Okay, so this is the object that consists of the entire content of this CSV file. So if I am just print this object, print of df, if I am giving this entire content of this file will be displayed. It is very simple, right? That's it. It is a way of reading the CSV into the pandas and displaying whether this contains the entire content or not. Okay. So just read the CSV file and store it into the data frame. Okay. I have to check whether it is stored properly or not. How do we check it? If I print this variable, the content is there, then I know that, okay, the data is read correctly without any error. So this is a simple way of reading the content of CSV file with the help of pandas. It's very few lines, right? When you compare to the CSV library. The previous example we have seen it, right? That has lots and lots of lines of code. But this is only 3 lines of code which you can easily perform the read operation into the CSV file. So next one is writing the CSV file with the help of pandas. The first one is import pandas. Then you read, you open the file in the read mode. So here, what is it? So this file has to be read and then it has to be written into the data frame. Okay. So how this file has to be modified? So what are the modification I made is, I made the index column as the employee and the dates has to be changed as hired, and then header is equal to 0, which means now the header doesn't contain anything. Then I want to use the header names as employee, hired, salary and sick days. So what is the meaning of this means? I have do some modification in this opened CSV file. So what is there in this CSV file? Sorry. What is the original CSV file? This is only original CSV file. In this, what are the modification I have done? So index column, which means the first column. Okay. So which is always unique. It does not contain any duplicate data. So that is the meaning. Index column means that column should not contain any duplication. Each and every value in that column should be different, not any duplication in that column. So that should be the index column. So I make the index column as, that is name, employee name. Here I am just using name. So this has to be changed as employee. This has to be changed as employee. Next, the dates has to be changed as hired. So here higher data I have given. So this has to be changed as hired. Next, the header part will be 0, which means how the header name should be there. The new header names are employee, hired, salary, sick days. So instead of this name, hire date, salary and sick days, I have to use, what is that? Employee, hired, salary, sick day. Instead of sick days remaining, I just use sick days. So look at this output. So here the header is employee, hired, salary, sick days. So the header is now changed. So how do we write? How do we perform the write operation means? So once it is read, the entire content of this CSV file is read with the modification, then it has to be written into the data frame like this. So this data frame, how it is written means df.to_CSV file. So what is it? hr_data.csv, which means this is a new file created with these modifications. So the existing file is hr_data.csv. So what are the modifications has to be done? So all these modifications are modified in this CSV file and it is newly created. With the modification, it is newly created as the new CSV file called hr_data_modified. Okay. So to write the modified content into the new CSV file, we are using to_CSV, which means it will write the content into the whatever that is in the DF. It will write the content of data frame into the CSV file, which has new name. Okay. So how we are writing? Don't confuse in this. It is very clear. So here this file is read. The entire content of this file is read, right? So here there are some modifications. So all those modifications are done. Then these contents are stored where? In DF object. Okay. So this DF object will consist of the entire content of the hr_data.csv file now with all these modifications. Next, I want to write it into another CSV file. Okay. So using this DF, okay, using this DF, .to_CSV. So this is a function that is used for writing into the CSV file. Okay. So read_CSV is used for reading the content from the CSV file, and to_CSV is for writing the content into the CSV file. So I am going to write the content of the data frame with all these modifications into the CSV file, which is named as HR_data_modified. Okay. So this read_CSV is for reading the content from the CSV file, and that is stored into the data frame. When you want to write the content into the CSV file, means use the data frame object, call the to_CSV function, and to which CSV file you want to write it. So that should be passed as parameter to this function. Okay. So in this way, you can read the content and also you can write the content into the CSV file. So with the help of pandas library, you can easily perform the read and write operation compared to the CSV library. So these pandas are the most popularly used library in the day-to-day application programs. So most of the programs are making use of pandas only. So today we have seen what is CSV file and what is CSV library and what is pandas library, and how do we perform read and write operation with the CSV library, and also performing the read and write operation with the pandas library. Okay, so these are the things that we have seen in this session. Thank you.